Hello everyone! Today I'm gonna talk about lesson 7-2. It's about identifying and classifying angles. First of all, for the first part of this video, I'm gonna show you how can we classify angles by their measures. Here I choose 4 figures and I'm gonna explain each one. For the first figure here, we have an acute angle. I choose here CBA. CB is called ray or a side of the angle, and CA is another side. The intersection of these two sides will give me C, which is the vertex. So C is called vertex or the end point of the angle. Here we have an acute angle which is between 0 and 90 degrees. Suppose here this one will be 40, let's say, so it's an acute angle. Any acute angle has to be between 0 and 90 degrees. For the second figure here, we have a right angle because it's exactly equals to 90 degrees. For the third figure here, it represents an obtuse angle because its measure it's between 90 and 180 degrees. Let's say this one is 120. The last figure represents a straight line which is called a straight angle, and any straight angles equals 180 degrees. For the second part of this video, I'm gonna talk about complementary and supplementary angle. First of all, let's start with complementary angles. If I have two angles, the sum of their measure is equal to 90 degrees, so I'm talking about the complementary angles. Let's take here 50 and 40. Together they are forming 90. So I can say that both of them are complementary angles. Now I'm gonna talk about supplementary angles. If I have this figure, for the first angle, it is equal to 120 degrees. For the second one, it equals 60. So together they are forming 180. That's why they are called supplementary angles. So if I'm calling this one angle A, the other one is angle B, so I can say angle A and angle B are supplementary angles. For example, I'm gonna give you this question. If angle A and angle B are supplementary, and the measure of angle A is 37 degrees, find the measure of angle B. So since they are supplementary, so both of them are forming a 180. So to find the angle B, we have just to make 180 minus 37, and it will be 143 degrees. Or we can apply the equation angle B, which is my x because it's missing number, and angle A, which is 37, are equal 180 and we can minus 37 from both sides, and my x will be equal to 143. So there is two methods. The first one or the second one if you are using if you want to use equations. For the third part of this video, I'm gonna use figures so we can evaluate the measure of some angles. Let's start with the first figure. So I choose to use this one. Suppose here we have a triangle. This one is called M. Here it's an N, here it's an L, and here a K. So first thing, I'm gonna give you this one is 60, and I'm gonna ask you to identify the acute angles. I'm gonna ask you to identify obtuse angles, and I'm gonna ask you to find the measure of the angle MLK. So let's start with the acute angles. As I told you, acute angles means angles between 0 and 90 degrees. So I can say this one is acute. So I can say the angle MLN. If I'm talking about an angle, always the vertex has to be in the middle. So here, this is my vertex, so I have to start from one of the sides. So I choose to start with an M. So MLN, or you can name it as well NLM. As well, we can find here, this is acute, LMN. And the other one is as well acute, which is MNL. Now we have to name the obtuse angle. I have just one obtuse angle, which is this one, because it's greater than 90 and less than 180, and we can name it MLK, or we can name it KLM. Now he's asking me to find the measure of MLK, which is the purple one. So he needs to find the measure of the purple one. As you see, the red angle with the purple angle are forming a straight line, which is called a straight angle, which is equal to 180. So to find the purple angle, it will be just doing 180 minus 60. So to find this one, I'm gonna make 180 minus 60, and it will be equal to 120. And we can say that the angle MLK and the angle MLN are supplementary angles. Because their sum is equal to 180. As a second example, I'm gonna take this figure. This example was given in the previous test. So I'm gonna name this one 1, 2, 3, 4. Given that the measure of angle 1 is 40, find the measure of angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4. So how can we do it? So this one is given and it's equal to 40. What can we say about the angle 1 and 3? They are vertical. What does it mean, vertical angles? Means their measure are the same. So these are called vertical angles. I told you if I have two angles forming the letter X, means these are vertical. So vertical angles means congruent angles, or the same angle, they have the same measure. So here I can say that the angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. Since they are vertical angles, so they are congruent angles. What does it mean, congruent angles? Means they have the same measure. So angle 1, the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 3 and it's equal to 40. So I can say this one is 40. Now let's go for angle 2 and 4. So the angle 2 with the angle 1 are forming a straight line. So together they are forming 180. So this one will be automatically 180 minus 40, which is equal to 140. The angle 2 with the angle 4 again are vertical angles. So we can say that the angle 2 is equal to 180 minus 40, so it's equal to 140. We can say as well that angle 2 and angle 4 are vertical angles, and that's why this one is equal to 140 as well. So the angle 4 is equal to 140.